blues fans, glad you're here. Welcome to another episode of This Week in the Blues. It's our weekly take on blues history. I'm your host, Jimbo Big Train Madsen, with the blues band Big Train and the Locomotives. We're your favorite blues nerds. So let's take a look and see what happened this week in blues history.
Blues guitarist Beverly "Guitar" Watkins was born April 6, 1939. Now, one critic wrote that Beverly Watkins is a pyrotechnic guitar maven whose searing, ballistic attacks on the guitar have become allegorical tales within the blues community. Yeah, that's a lot of big words just to say she was one hell of a guitar player. Watkins had a long and continuous musical career and worked with artists including James Brown, B.B. King, and Ray Charles. In 1998, she was included in a package show with Coco Taylor and Rory Block that was part of the All-Star Women of the Blues Hot Mamas Tour. Blues harmonica virtuoso Big Walter Horton was born April 6, 1921. He was renowned for his innovative contributions to the music of Memphis and Chicago. He began his career as a child working for tips on the streets of Memphis. Horton began recording for legendary Memphis producer Sam Phillips in 1951. Horton joined the Muddy Waters Band in Chicago in 1953. Chicago's foremost blues producer-songwriter, Willie Dixon, who called Horton the greatest harmonica player in the world. Blues guitarist Louis "Mr. Bo" Collins was born April 7, 1932, in Indianola, Mississippi. Collins moved to Chicago in 1946, and by the early 1950s had settled in Detroit. His musical apprenticeship began in the time-honored tradition of appearances at blues house parties, where he was often to be found in the company of Washboard Willie, John Lee Hooker, Boogie Woogie Red, Little Sonny, and many others. By the late 1950s, he had adopted the stage name Mr. Bo and used it on his recordings. His fluent guitar playing and steady, understated vocals are most noticeable on the original version of If Trouble Was Money, a song he co-wrote with his brother. Chicago blues guitarist Little Ed Williams was born April 8, 1955. In childhood, Williams and his half-brother James Pookie Young learned the blues from their uncle, blues guitarist J.B. Hutto. While he was in his 20s, Williams formed the band the Blues Imperials. Now, Little Ed and the Blues Imperials have been nominated for 8 Blues Music Awards as Band of the Year and have won that award twice. Now, on a personal note, I've been lucky enough to see them twice, and they are not to be missed. If you have the opportunity, go get them. His slide work is outstanding. Texas bluesman Mance Lipscomb was born April 9, 1895, near Navasota, Texas. As a youth, he took the name Mance, which is short for emancipation. His father had been born into slavery in Alabama. For most of his life, Lipscomb supported himself as a tenant farmer in Texas. His mother bought him a guitar, and he taught himself to play by watching and listening. He began playing the guitar at an early age and played regularly for years at local gatherings, mostly what he called Saturday night suppers. Delta blues guitarist and harmonica player Woodrow Adams was born April 9, 1917, in Chula, Mississippi, as the son of plantation workers. His most accomplished song was How Long? From an early age, he was taught the rudiments of playing the harmonica and the guitar. He did not begin his recording career until the age of 35, when he was making a living driving a tractor. On May 24, 1952, Adams, backed by the supporting group The 3 Bs, recorded Pretty Baby Blues at Sun Studios in Memphis. Roscoe Gordon, the pioneer of the Memphis blues style, was born in Memphis, Tennessee on April 10, 1928. Gordon became friends with Johnny Ace, Bobby Blue Bland, and B.B. King, and he won first place at an amateur show at the Palace Theater on Beale Street in 1950. MC of the show was Rufus Thomas, and he invited Gordon to play on his radio show at WDIA. Soon after, Gordon had his own show as well. He played piano in the style of the Roscoe rhythm, with an emphasis on the offbeat. Now, one thing of note, this rhythmic technique influenced the sound of early ska and reggae. Pretty cool. Chicago blues guitarist John Brim was born April 10th in 1922. Now, he's best remembered as the man who wrote and recorded the song Ice Cream Man. Brim began playing the guitar by studying the recordings of Big Bill Broonzy and Tampa Red and moved to Chicago in 1947. His wife, Grace, was also a talented musician, playing drums and harmonica. Brim recorded for several labels, including Chess Records. Ice Cream Man was recorded in 1953, but not released until 1969. Be sure to read our social posts on him on our Facebook or Instagram and hear the whole story of Van Halen and Ice Cream Man. Blues singer Shemekia Copeland was born April 10th in 1979. Now, she is the daughter of Texas blues guitarist and singer Johnny Copeland. She began singing at an early age, and her first public performance was at the Cotton Club when she was about 10. She began to pursue a singing career in earnest at the age of 16. When her father's health began to decline, he took Shemekia on tour as his opening act, which helped establish her name on the blues circuit. Copeland graduated in 1997 from Teaneck High School in Teaneck, New Jersey. Chicago blues guitarist Luther Johnson was born April 11, 1939, in the Mississippi town of Itta-Bena. Johnson performed under the name Luther Guitar Jr. Johnson. And as a point of clarification, he is not to be confused with Luther Georgia Boy Johnson, Luther House Rocker Johnson, or Lonnie Guitar Jr. Brooks. I think that demonstrates that maybe, just maybe, people with the name Luther Johnson or Guitar Jr. are just a little too popular in blues circles. I'm just saying. Now, the Johnson that we're talking about moved to Chicago with his family in 1955. And during the 1960s, he performed with Magic Sam. He also performed in Muddy Waters Band from 1972 until 1980. The original house rocker himself, Chicago blues guitarist Hound Dog Taylor, was born April 12, 1915. Now, some sources say it was 1917. Now, we do know he was born in Natchez, Mississippi. He first played the piano and began playing the guitar when he was 20. He moved to Chicago in 1942. Now, Taylor had a condition known as polydactylism, which resulted in him having 6 fingers on both hands. Now, as is usual with the condition, the extra digits were just rudimentary nubbins that really could not be moved. One night, while drunk, he cut off the extra digit on his right hand using a straight razor. Yep, he sure did. That makes him the Van Gogh of the blues. Chicago blues harmonica player James Shaky Jake Harris was born April 12, 1921 in Earle, Arkansas. His family relocated to Chicago when he was 7. He played in several Chicago blues ensembles in the late 1940s. He also worked as a mechanic and as a professional gambler. His nickname came from a dice player's expression of shake 'em. His debut recording was the single Call Me If You Need Me, backed with Roll Your Money Maker, released in 1958. They featured his nephew Magic Sam and Syl Johnson on guitars, and was produced by Willie Dixon. Throughout the 1960s, Harris and Magic Sam appeared regularly in concert together around Chicago. Well, blues fans, we just covered some of the highlights here. Now, if you want to know more about these artists or the other things that happened this week in the blues, be sure to follow our social media pages or just visit our website at bigtrainblues.com. Now, we'll have a brand new episode next week, and we'll talk about the Empress of the Blues, Bessie Smith, and blues master Clarence Gatemouth Brown. It's going to be a great show, so we'll see you then.